The suspended member representing Edu State Constituency in the Kwara State House of Assembly, Saba Gideon, has faulted his suspension and the freezing of his salaries and allowances, describing the actions as illegal, unconstitutional and a violation of the rights of his constituents. Gideon, who addressed a press conference in Ilorin on Saturday, dismissed allegations that he secretly recorded proceedings of the House, insisting that the accusation was false and unfounded. "I never recorded any House proceedings. At no time did I secretly or otherwise record deliberations of the Kwara State House of Assembly," he said. The lawmaker argued that suspending an elected legislator amounted to denying constituents their constitutional right to representation, stressing that such a sanction was not supported by law. The law is settled that a legislative house cannot suspend a member indefinitely or arbitrarily because doing so deprives the people of representation, which is guaranteed by the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended, he said. Gideon noted that the relationship between a legislator and the House was not that of a master and servant, explaining that his mandate was derived from the Constitution and the electorate, not from the leadership of the Assembly. "My mandate comes from the people of Edu, not from any individual or group within the Assembly," he said. He further maintained that no House rule or standing order could override the Constitution, which he described as the supreme law of the land. "Any rule that contradicts the Constitution is null and void to the extent of its inconsistency," he added. Faulting the decision to withhold his salaries and allowances, Gideon said legislators were not employees of the House and could not be subjected to arbitrary pay freezes. The fixing and payment of salaries and allowances of legislators fall under the jurisdiction of the Revenue Mobilisation Allocation and Fiscal Commission, not the House of Assembly, he said. Citing legal provisions, he added that even where discipline was justified, the Legislative House's powers and privileges Act limits suspension for contempt to a maximum of 48 hours. The Act limits suspension of a member for contempt to a maximum of 48 hours. Anything beyond that is illegal and unconstitutional, he said. Gideon also questioned the procedure allegedly followed in effecting his suspension, claiming that due process was not observed. He said a House could only proceed into an executive or closed-door session after a motion is moved, seconded and approved through a public vote, a process he claimed was not followed in his case. No final decision, sanction or suspension can legally be taken in private without ratification in an open plenary, he said. According to him, allegations of misconduct ought to have been referred to the Ethics and Privileges Committee for investigation, with the affected member afforded a fair hearing. There was no committee investigation, no fair hearing and no supermajority vote, he alleged. Gideon warned that arbitrary or prolonged suspensions weakened democratic institutions, stressing that legislative discipline must be exercised within constitutional limits. If we want to build strong institutions, we must respect the rule of law. Legislative independence does not mean constitutional recklessness, he said. He expressed confidence that the law would prevail, vowing to pursue all lawful means to reclaim his mandate. My fight is not personal. It is about defending the constitutional right of my people to be represented, he said. The Punch had earlier reported that the Kwara State House of Assembly suspended Gideon for 3 months over alleged contempt of the House and breach of legislative privilege. The Assembly accused the lawmaker of secretly recording a closed-door meeting and sharing the audio with an unauthorized person. During plenary on Thursday, December 19, 2025, lawmakers claimed Gideon admitted to the act when the matter was raised on the floor of the House. The motion for his suspension was moved without notice by the Leader of the House, Abdul Qadir Magaji, who cited Order 4, Rule 14 of the House Rules on Privileges and Section 14(2) of the Legislative Houses, Powers and Privileges, Act, 2017. In its resolution, the House said the unauthorized recording and circulation of the meeting was capable of bringing the legislature into disrepute and directed the suspended lawmaker to submit a written apology within the suspension period.